Hi, I'm Keith Holland from the Guitar Hospital in Los Gatos, California, and we've been talking a little bit about acoustic guitar pickups and trying to explain some of the options that are available to you and application of the pickup systems as they would pertain to what venues you would play and so on and so forth. So, in our last episode, we talked a little bit about the simple systems, the undersaddle transducers, as well as the soundboard transducers. And let's get a little deeper into that and start talking about preamps. Now, preamps are, battery-driven usually. Sometimes they can be an off-board preamp that basically takes your element. Let's say that we have a undersaddle transducer that's in there, and there's no onboard preamp for that. Then we'd have to use an offboard preamp. We may have to, when we get to the larger venues, use an offboard preamp such as this. These can get very complicated and very very useful. Let's say, not for the novice, but these preamps there's a lot of them out there. This happens to be an Ultrasound DI Max. And this has output gain as well as treble and bass and mid-range and phase switches and so on and so forth. And they can be very useful to shaping the sound and making it sound bigger and livelier and maybe more acoustic. One thing you have to keep in mind is these pickups, they are tools that you're going to use. The guitar itself is a tool. So when you're playing acoustically in a room, that tool is very simple. You just play it. But once you start amplifying a guitar, you want to keep in mind that that's a tool to be used on stage, and you're trying to get the sound of the guitar out to the audience. And what may, in theory, seem like a good way to do things isn't always the case. In other words, a microphone seems to be a very, very, acoustic option, or a very, very good way to transport the sound of the guitar to the audience. But that's not always true. In fact, I've been kind of avoiding the microphone because, in my experience with my customers, when they're using the guitars and they want to portray the acoustic guitar to the audience, then they need to think of it in terms of an electric guitar, really, because you're electrifying the acoustic guitar and sending it to the audience. So what I found in my experience is that that tool needs to be something that's very efficient. So these preamps can really take that undersaddle transducer or the soundboard transducer or even a magnetic transducer and combinations of those and really turn it into that really viable tool to sound like an acoustic guitar. So these are very valuable. What a lot of people do, and you'll see them on guitars that you buy in stores or that you see in stores when you're shopping, is a lot of them have implants, transducers that are implanted into the guitar. You'll see one on this guitar here. This is a very simple B-band system that comes with this guitar when you buy it. Just like the other ones, it's plugged in here. In this case, there's a battery that's installed here. This is a very simple system. It's got volume, treble, bass, and mids. Some of them will come with tuners built in, which is this one does. This one has a tuner. This is the higher end B-band system. I'll show this to you here. Set that down. This one actually is very, very cool because it has a volume control here, has a presence, which is upper trebles, and then treble, mid, bass. It has assignment of frequency of the mid controls, which is important, as well as in the bass control. And then it has a phase switch. Phase switch is sometimes the preamp will not match with your PA system or your amplifier that you're using, and you need to change the phase of it. And you can hear that when you do that, everything improves. And then also it has a tuner. You just press that button, your guitar goes silent, and you can tune it. And these are very, very useful pickups. However, now this the important thing to know about these things is you don't want to put, you have to cut a hole in the guitar. You see this one, that one I just showed you, it has a hole cut into the guitar to install the pickup. So you don't want to do it on a very expensive guitar. That's something that most people don't do. It's the the $1,000 and under guitars that you usually do this on. Maybe a laminated sides and back guitar you might want to, or a laminated sides guitar. You may want to do it on a guitar like that, or once again, it is a tool. So get yourself a decent guitar, and it's not a problem to get that. It's something we do all the time. We go ahead and cut the hole in these things and install these, and they are very, very useful. I highly recommend them. There's a lot of options out there. Everybody, LR Bags makes a good system. Also, Fishman, we install a lot of Fishman systems, and the B-Band, of course, we do a lot of. And I highly recommend them. Okay, let's move on to magnetic pickups. This is a magnetic pickup. It goes in the sound hole, installs in the sound hole of the guitar, right here. And you can see that it looks very similar to what comes in an electric guitar, and there's a reason for that, because it is the same kind of pickup that comes in an electric guitar. This one happens to be the Trilogy system by Dean Markley, which is really probably the most versatile system you'll find anywhere, because it has a magnetic pickup, it has a microphone, and it has an undersaddle pickup. And you can blend. It has a volume for the magnetic pickup, it has a volume for the mic, and it has a volume for the piezo undersaddle pickup. So you can blend them all in. You can use them on their own. And then you have a master control for the whole thing. So, a real versatile system. Most of the magnetic pickups just come on their own, just a magnetic pickup. And in those cases, those magnetic pickups, they may not have the true sound of an acoustic guitar. LR Bags makes one that actually has sensors built into it that pick up the top, so it's got a soundboard transducer built into it. Others, such as Fishman and a lot of other pickups, will have a microphone inside on the back of it that can pick up the inside of the guitar, and then you have your blend control where you can blend that in. So there's a lot of options available to you besides just the magnetic. But the magnetic pickup, generally speaking, I think most people would agree, is not the best option for an acoustic sound. But it probably is the best option for a acoustic sound when you're playing very, very loud, in maybe rock band type situations. So I'd like to discuss feedback in our next episode here, and options that are available as far as that goes. Thank you.